because I was just like you, where I'm like, what the fuck is demi-romantic? What is pansexual? Like, you don't know
I was
until
asking for
you.
the audience,
Oh,
Silas. Could you
okay,
not put me down like
okay,
that?
okay. You're right. My bad. Um, my heteronormative cisgendered companion. I forget. I forget.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you. I think those are all nice things to say.
I think those are they're things to say. Hello. Welcome to the first official episode of the Time Well Meant podcast, the podcast where we are still trying to figure out how exactly that egg fried that rice. With me today, as will be for the foreseeable future, is my beautiful and wonderful co-host, Kirby. And yes, I will be trying to get in your pants because it's my month.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. I'm already on board.
As the month progresses, I'm just going to progressively get gayer and gayer as
Is
my
that
energy.
how Pride Month works?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It just builds up inside. I got my nails done and everything for it. I'm so ready.
But you just get progressively gayer.
Yes. It
Now,
starts.
describe to me June 1st.
Oh, so June 1st. I wake up. Rainbows float out of my ears, like cartoon style steam. And
It starts off like vapory at first, kind of light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the time that we get to the end of June, they're going to be shooting out of my ears like rockets, destroying the local, populace.
Your bedroom just looks like a nightclub with just all the rainbow lights everywhere at all times.
Yeah, I have to put mirrors everywhere so they refract everywhere. Otherwise, it escapes and becomes a public tragedy. You can't have that.
Partying. I can't imagine driving down the road just seeing like that in a window as you drive by. Like,
just being blinded by rainbows as you're like casually going to work at 9 a.m. God, I
9 a.m.
Yeah, right. Well, people nowadays are doing that, right? I don't know. I work from home, so people are waking up at whatever
I'm up
time.
At 6:30 a.m. and at the office by 8-ish.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I am very thankful for, that I get to make my own hours, and I'm not making a lot of money, but I am getting lots of sleep, or at least a decent amount of sleep. But
weren't you on Tarkov till like 4 a.m. last night?
No, surprisingly, I wasn't. I went to bed. I went to bed right after we played. We played like
that's right. No,
times.
It was that was a few nights ago. Don't lie to me.
Oh, a couple nights. Yeah, I think because I reset my sleep schedule, and when I did that, I stayed up all night. That was my
okay.
Yeah, because I'm so terrible about I'll stay up for way too long because when I get obsessive with the video game, I get really obsessive to the point where it's kind of unhealthy. To be completely honest, but
what could be unhealthy about playing Tarkov? What could possibly be unhealthy about that?
A number of things, but the
my
thing
Apple
is,
Watch used to go off during like a hot and heavy raid. My Apple Watch would think I was exercising.
No shit. Wait, what?
It has a heart rate monitor. Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude.
Does your heart get up that high? Wait, even playing the single player or just like...
No, definitely not in the single player. But this was back in like 2018, so I cared more.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. We're still playing live at that point, or yeah.
Just being the little Timmy in the bush. What was that?
It's funny now because now that we're playing the single player, I rarely I'm just full sending every fight, full sending everything. I'm not. I don't know how to be a rat anymore. It's really weird.
Well, then we play like Boss Mania and stuff, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more cautious there. But that you have to be. You can't.
You can't fight 3 nights in the pit on Factory.
No, God, no. Especially with how buggy it is, because they'll spawn. I mean, the spawns are pretty consistent, but at the same time, it's still insane at where they are, because they're in awful places. Because
we had. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
TJ and I were playing last night or the night before Boss Mania on Factory, and we saw, I think, Kaban up top for a few minutes. We're like, what's going on? Is the spawns fucking up or something? And then we hear English yelling. So TJ's like, I bet he's down, in the pit in that tunnel off to the side by that extract, by the cellar extract. And there was 3 knights just sitting there, perfectly still. TJ rounds the corner, sees them not moving, and shoots one. And then all of a sudden they come to life, and they killed us both just so fast.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
The joy of the co-op or SPT mod.
It's got to be something with donuts, because there is something weird about like I was playing earlier because I was trying to get my Labs key cards for some quest. We should not drone on and on about Tarkov because this is just going to become a Tarkov. Anyways, I
have the same quest though, so I want to hear this.
So I was doing Boss Mania to get my key cards, and at one point in time I walked up to the other side of like by the forklift on the other side of train, and was just shooting at someone who was up on train, and then I didn't realize it was Big Pipe. And so then I ran back down underneath to where Knight usually is, killed a couple people there, and then fucking Big Pipe is like running just down at full speed. And I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? And he ran from all the way to train, all the way down. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about Tarkov, and there's a map called Factory, and Factory is a nightmare for most people. And then if you add in constantly spawning bosses, it becomes even more of a nightmare. So...
Yep. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I need those Labs key cards.
Therapist
wants them. What does she want to do with them? Who knows?
Who knows? But I know that
you think she's running Labs?
No, because there is a quest right after that's like, hey, go check to see what Sanitar is doing or what he was doing in Labs. So she doesn't know shit. Maybe she wants you to, because she gives you like a black key card, and I also found a green.
Really?
Yeah, I found a green key card in there, so I made like 80 mil today.
Oh,
and then just bought a green key card. Really? Dude, I found a red one. Or not a red one. I found a violet one that I sold and then bought a red one, and then I just found a green one that I sold to then buy a green one at a cheaper price. Because
speaking of Pride Month,
the best. Yeah, speaking of Pride Month, yeah, I'm collecting all the colors. Holy shit. Yeah, so it is Pride Month, and I'll tell you what, I did and I don't know how I didn't know this, but up until 1992, do you know what other month this is?
National Safety Month.
No, I did not know it was National Safety Month. That is interesting. I was going to say...
We had a whole meeting about it at work.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you do at work that you need to worry about safety like that?
My company is like as a global security company.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't think about... I'm thinking about like... You're not working like construction or anything. I know with the railroad, they were super big about safety and all this, but...
Nah, there's like the drivers of the trucks and all the branches getting robbed and things like that.
Gotcha. I guess that's not something I really would think about would be a thing for...
Well, now you're going to start thinking about it. Yeah, it's National Safety Month.
I was going to say it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
No shit.
Yeah, no shit. That's one of those things that it shows you how much people give a fuck about men's mental health, but like... That was one of those things I was just like, wow, I didn't know. Because I'm always like, oh, Pride Month. This is a month. Sick. Yeah, I didn't know we had our own month for, men's mental health since 1992.
Dude, it's your month on two parts. Because you're a man with mental health.
I'm a man with mental health.
And, dude.
I do have mental health, yeah. I'm notorious for having some of it. Health. Some of it, yeah. Jesus Christ. So that was one of those things that I was like, when and I don't remember how I even figured it out. It must have been on, I guess I was just looking up Pride Month, and then I found something else about like, oh, Men's Mental Health Month is the month of June. And it's been celebrated for years now. And I'm like, holy shit, that's kind of crazy. Well,
dude, let's start celebrating.
Let's start fucking celebrating. Let's get mental.
Men's Mental Health Awareness Party.
How exactly does that unfold?
I mean, it's men, so pretty much just beer and... I don't know, manly stuff, lumberjacking probably.
Do we just get drunk enough that we start talking about our feelings, opening up about our mental health?
That's the only way I know how to do it.
There you go. I'm like, how are you exactly going to celebrate? Because you're not going to be like, none of us are going to actually like open up. That's the thing.
It would quickly just turn into group therapy.
Yeah, just we're all sitting around.
Just sitting in a circle, eating crackers.
God. That is... Yeah, I mean, because I'm trying to like now physically envision a men's mental health party, and it just seems honestly kind of fucking lame.
No,
it's just
an excuse for dudes to get together and be happy.
Yeah,
which is really just a normal party, but that's
it is just a normal.
We don't have to tell people that part.
We just leave out the fact that it's a mental health party. We just say, oh, it's just a normal party for just dudes.
For dudes with mental health.
For dudes with mental health.
If you don't have mental health, get the fuck out.
Damn. I feel like nowadays, though, like every guy has something to do. Something's going on with them mentally. not to drag down the conversation, but there's definitely
No, no, do it.
Do it. Okay.
Well, no,
There's
don't drag it down. Go. I meant go.
there's definitely a because like there's like the epidemic of loneliness. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Of course. Yeah.
There is. I mean, fucking. We could talk about the suicide rate and how insane that is with men, and
I don't have numbers in front of me, but men are higher than women, right?
Oh,
by like a large margin.
Huge margin. Yeah, it's like 80-20 kind of ratio. It's insane. It's insane how, a lot of men go through life and they don't ever think about their mental health. They just kind of push through it. That whole fuck it, we ball kind of mentality of that's just kind of how everyone kind of goes about it, which is always something that's been interesting to me because I'm at a place now in my life where that's much different. I don't have that sort of like I still struggle with mental health, but I'm a lot more aware and I'm a lot more open to discussing it. Like if there's ever, something kind of going on with me, I'm pretty good about explaining what's going on. I'm really bad about reaching out. That's kind of the thing where I'm at, where if someone asks me, hey, what's going on with you? I can articulate it pretty well. It's the figuring out what to do about it, I guess, and also reaching out for help is like where I'm at with like what I struggle with. You know what I mean?
Now, is it that you understand within yourself when you're alone, I'm having XYZ issue and you understand it, but you don't reach out to say, hey, I need some help here? Yeah. But if somebody asks, you're like, well, here's what's going on. And since you offered.
Yeah. And
like that.
Because if I have someone that I can kind of like talk through it with, it's a lot easier. Yeah, there you go. It's a lot easier to kind of just lay everything out on the table and go, this is kind of what's going on. So to give you an example, I was talking with a friend of mine just like a few days ago, and we were talking about bipolar disorder because they're bipolar, I'm bipolar. And it's one of those things that I think about often, but I don't really do as much research as I used to because I've been bipolar I've got diagnosed bipolar when I was 15, so that's 17 years now that I've.
Shit.
Yeah, I started medication when I was 15.
I'm slightly ignorant on that, but isn't that something that's generally diagnosed later?
So it kind of depends. So the thing about it is too is there's a lot more that we know now. There's still a lot that we don't know about bipolar disorder.
Oh, for sure.
But there's a lot more that we know now. So like when I got diagnosed, it was more of like a this is what we think you have, and then we confirmed it later due to how medication affected me. Like there's not really for bipolar disorder at least, and I could be wrong. There might be tests or some shit like that. I never went through any sort of tests.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I never went through any tests. I never went through anything that was like concrete. And that's how a lot of my diagnoses have been with healthcare professionals is that they work through it with me. I can give them, kind of the point lines. Another thing too is they were able to trace because of my heritage. My mother's bipolar. And so
it's definitely genetics increase your likelihood. Because my grandfather had it like bad.
Yes. And it can and that's like, so I've kind of figured out kind of the lineage of my my slew of mental health disorders.
You've mapped your mental health.
Yeah, pretty much. Because like I kind of figured out that like I probably have the ADHD from my dad because there's a lot of things that he does. He's not officially diagnosed, but there's a lot of things that he does. I'm like,
same thing with my dad. Like I see these things.
Yeah, and you notice as you get older. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say ADHD for me, it almost feels like everybody on Earth shows some of those symptoms. Everybody hyperfocuses sometimes. Well, I know I'm not minimizing at all. As I said, I've talked to my own psychiatrist about it, but if you just look at the symptoms kind of by themselves, I think everybody has little bits of it. Everybody hyperfocuses. Everybody doesn't want to do something that's boring. So I don't know. It's hard to, unless somebody really tells you what they're going through, what they're feeling, men's mental health awareness. It's hard to just look at somebody from the outside and say that guy has ADHD.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things too that in society nowadays, especially because you have everything that's such like very quick, hard, like fast dopamine and serotonin like hits that you get from like social media, like,
and it just grows everything. Yeah. Like we had Vine and then TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram. Yeah. I mean, it's all the same shit.
You got these iPad kids that are just goes faster, shorter attention span, and that sort of thing ends up, I guess, progressing neurodivergency in the younger generations, but also, I mean, it's one of those things too that like I feel like the older generations now, like my generation and then the generation above us, like Gen X, is kind of just now coming to terms with their mental health, at least from what I'm seeing on like social media and just kind of what I'm observing in my surroundings, that it's not until later that we're kind of figuring things out, where like I've had time to, I got my diagnoses very early. I'm still learning things today. So what I was going to say too earlier about, I was talking to my friend bipolar, and they're talking to me about the symptoms of bipolar disorder. And one of the things that happens with bipolar disorder is, you know, you have these ups, you have these downs. I did not realize, this is something that I just learned. Obviously, I'll go through at some point once I have health insurance. You know, America, shout out America. America's the best country in the world. Love the fact that I don't have health insurance. At some point in time, I will go and actually talk to a healthcare professional about this. But this is something I didn't realize about bipolar disorder, is that you have what's called mixed mania. Now, normally you're either in a manic phase, and I'm kind of just talking about the general bipolar disorder. But you have a manic phase, and then you have a depressive phase, and those phases can kind of they'll shift. But when they shift, it's usually after a few days. You'll spend a few days in a manic phase. Sometimes you can spend, you know, upwards of a month in that phase. And it varies, you know, it varies on the intensity of the manic phase and of the depressive phase, right? For me, I live in a state of kind of limbo of I can shift very easily into one or the other, but I don't face any of the extremes, which is called mixed mania, where I can be pretty depressed, but also have like symptoms of mania, or be in kind of a manic phase that have symptoms of depression. And like that is something I didn't realize just wasn't normal. So I've gone through
the
my
same day.
Yes, in the same day. That's something that I thought was normal up until like a week or two ago, where my friend was like, "That's not. It's really not. It's really, it's usually like." And this is why I think it's really important for people to not only discuss but also seek, you know, through whatever avenues you can, seek like medical help, or seek some sort of help, whether it be through, you know, some sort of free option. If you have something through your work, like seek that help, because you never know, like
employment places to have like an outreach program or something that you can use for free.
If you're in school, you can go to counselors, you know, like there's things out there that you can find that can help you in one way or another. And the thing about it is, with mental health, is it's a journey. So you have to start somewhere. You'll never get anywhere if you don't start at point A and then continue forward. Because if you never start, you're never going to figure anything out.
And that's why we're discussing specifically men's mental health awareness, because we as men don't like to reach out, maybe not to overgeneralize, but try to be the island, try to, you know, take care of your family, your friends, everything without breaking. But that shit does build up, man. You bend.
Yeah.
Kind of what I wanted to say about that, though, as far as just the journey, and I made my own journey a little bit. I did not understand. I will just be forthright honest with you here. I didn't know what anxiety was until maybe a year ago, 2 years ago now. I was just having a lot of like kind of outbursts, arguments with my wife, just general unhappiness. So I went and talked to a psychiatrist, and she asked me, and I'm telling her all these things. She's like, "Yeah, you're anxious. That's anxiety." I was like, "That's anxiety, really?" And so that's how I learned to actually recognize when I'm having anxiety. That way I can, you know, work on the journey to counter it. It kind of makes you feel like an idiot to be 30 plus years old and be like, what? That's anxiety. What?
Yeah.
But what a turnaround.
Yeah.
Since
taking that step. The thing too is like you find out that starting point and you figure out, okay, this is what's wrong. Once you have that, that's the thing. So when I was 15 was a wild year for me. When I was 15, I started having panic attacks, and I was having them like every night, and I didn't know what's wrong with me. If you don't know what a panic attack is, basically you feel like you're dying. That's the best way that it's the flight or fight response, but it's just the flight. And it kicks on
for no obvious reason sometimes.
Yeah. And it kicks on, and it just goes, and you don't have any way to like calm yourself down, or at least at the time I didn't, right? As time progressed, obviously, when you're dealing with mental health, people kind of figure out how to cope in their own ways. Some of them more healthy than others. But you sort of figure out, you deal with how to cope. For me, at 15, the only way that I could stop myself from having a panic attack was two ways. Either I walked outside and looked up at the stars and realized I'm a small, insignificant being and it doesn't matter whatever I'm worried about, or this is the one that was like, I don't know why. It was just the only thing, but I would go in and check on my mom, and my mom would be asleep. It'd be like 2 a.m. And I would just make sure that she was like alive and breathing. And once I figured out, like, okay, she's alive, like I just opened the door, look in, okay, she's still there, she's good, close the door and like leave. And then that would just, all of my like fears would wash away. And it's not like my mom's older, but it's not like she was like on the verge of death or anything. But it was just one of those things that for whatever reason, it calmed me in such a way that I could just kind of like, but that was pure experimentation. I didn't know, there's been plenty of times when I've had like panic attacks and I just have to ride it, there's plenty of times when I've dealt with anxiety and I ride it because I'm like, I don't know what else to do except for just, yeah. And finding out, having an answer, like finding out, like when I finally got to, that stage in my mental health journey where I was sitting in front of a specialist and they're like, yeah, you're having panic attacks. Like there's a number of things you can do, different breathing techniques, there's medication, but like there's all these other options. And once you have a name to the monster, and once you have that like solution, or at least the start of a solution or options for solutions, then it becomes a lot easier to tackle. Then it becomes like, okay, I can deal with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It's tough, man. It is tough, but everybody out there, be aware of it. Reach out for help if you need it. Don't be afraid. We're all human, and that's what that is. So, what I wanted to talk about was the last day of May and the first 2 days of June.
Yes.
Me and my wife and our son attended DreamHack.
DreamHack. Yes, I'm excited to hear about this.
You're gonna fucking go one day.
One of these days, what? Yeah. Every year that I've tried to go, I've been working during that time. The one time that I'm not working, I don't find out until weeks before DreamHack, so it just didn't work out. But I want to hear all about it.
I really wanted you to say, I've been working on the railroad there.
I have been working on the railroad. I'm wearing the railroad shirt and everything. Like Perfect. I should be on a train right now. I'm not. It is what it is. But how was it? I know that it was supposed to rain really hard the first day that y'all were there. I don't know if it
the whole time.
Oh, did it rain the whole time?
All days. Shit. Yeah. No, more on that, but so first and foremost, DreamHack is a massive gaming festival that originated in Sweden. Couldn't tell you exactly when, but it originated in Sweden. Massive 3-day LAN party gaming event. Bunch of nerds drag their computers and everything else and hang out, party, play video games, and drink a lot of Monster.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, they finally brought it to America. They did it in Austin. We went to that too. A lot of fun. Dude, we had like DreamHack on this street, our hotel on this street, and 6th Street, the party street in Austin, Texas, right there.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful. So it comes to Dallas, Texas this year, dude. It was a great time, man.
Was this the first year that they brought it to Dallas, or
no? Maybe the third.
Okay.
Maybe the third year.
Okay.
Not sure. But there was, they have like Counter-Strike Pro tournaments. The big IEM hosted by Intel, and a massive stadium is there. I don't really follow Counter-Strike that much, but it's cool. It's really cool. There's always like pros all around. I probably bump into somebody famous that I don't even know. But so there's the IEM pros for Counter-Strike. There's a women's professional Counter-Strike tournament, Halo tournament, StarCraft, some new game that I don't remember the name, like Mech Battle or Battle Mechazoid. Who knows what it is? Some new game. They had a big tournament for it.
Cool.
They did not have any competitive or like esport level Rocket League this year, which kind of broke my heart just a little bit.
Do they usually have?
So they usually have the collegiate level Rocket League. In 2023, dude, it was so sick. We had like our computers in the BYOC LAN area, bring your own computer, and I could just turn my head, maybe like ask my wife to lean a little bit forward so I could see past her head, and I could see the Rocket League like pro stage right over there, and I was just watching it the whole time.
Fuck yeah.
Awesome. Just all these vendors, all these shows. There was a drag show.
Hell yeah.
And I have to ask if they were like, we're going to Texas? Drag show.
Drag show.
In which case, good on them.
Good on him.
It was called Drag and Drop, which is
Hell
clever,
yeah.
but like, I
You're
guess.
expecting. I think that sets it up to be expecting something.
Oh, maybe.
You know.
Mm.
What are we dropping?
I wasn't
here?
close enough to the stage.
Damn it! Wow. Did they have it this year, or was it just the?
That was this year.
Oh, okay,
I've never
gotcha.
seen that before. Yeah.
Oh shit! Hell yeah! Okay.
Man, just so much stuff to do. Magic the Gathering, like massive tournament. On I think Friday night of the event, we walked up the street like a block to this little chicken finger restaurant that was horrendously overpriced. And we just see this dude sitting there at this huge table. And we're like, oh, you mind if we sit here? Sit down, start chit-chatting with this guy. He owns like 4 card gaming tabletop board game stores around Arizona.
Oh shit! Okay.
And he was in Dallas for this $50,000 Magic the Gathering tournament. He said he was in I don't remember, some other state like the weekend before for the tournament.
Jesus.
Cool times, cool people, all kinds of events, so much going on. And the draw of it for us is we bring our computers, monitors, everything for 3 days, play a bunch of video games, drink a bunch of Monster. They have Monster as a sponsor, and it's just free as long as the exhibit hall is open. So between like 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. just walk up and hey, let me get a green.
Free.
And they're like, that's number 4 for you. Are you sure you don't want a sugar free this time?
Damn, that I did not really. Dude, why doesn't Balls do that at QuakeCon? This is bullshit.
Shit.
I mean, they're walking around giving away free cases, but
they have like X Games, like BMX guys on these like half pipes just doing backflips and shit. Yes, dude.
What the fuck?
It's so badass, dude.
That's kind of wild.
But yeah, so to get there Friday morning, I looked at the weather the night before and I was like, we got to get there at 10 a.m. because it says they're breaking the rain between 9 and 11. We got there at like 10:05, cruised in, no rain. Park in the underground parking garage, so didn't have to worry about anything after that point. Stayed in the hotel that's connected, so we were on foot, barely went outdoors during these days, besides like a vape break.
Mm-hmm.
Then as we were leaving, we had to take our stuff out down to the car, and it wasn't raining. Sweet. Down the parking garage, load up, get out. Driving home, and there is a torrential downpour. Like, I kid you not, I've never actually driven on a road with that much standing water to the point where I was like, I'm in danger. Turn around, don't drown. There's a sign right there on the side of the road, dude.
Oh, God.
But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm doing like 20 and 30 down the highway along with every other car, and it's just can barely see. Kind of scary, but made it home. And then the rain stopped right when we got home.
Yeah,
unloaded all my shit. It was perfect. It was perfect. But man, it was a just fantastic weekend.
Hell yeah.
I love those events.
I definitely, one of these, hopefully next year I'll be able to go. Hopefully next year.
Oh, I forgot to mention, in years prior, me and my wife would take our computers for all 3 days, and we would buy a single day pass with no computer for our sons, just so he can come check out DreamHack. This year was the first year we bought it. We brought him for 3 days, brought his computer. He gamed with us. We played a bunch of Party Animals, Rocket League. I even played some Fortnite just to make him happy.
Oh my God.
But yeah, such a good time.
I was gonna say, how did he do? How was it?
Oh, he did, dude. My son's kind of badass.
Hell yeah.
He was totally fine. Anna's like my wife is passing out at the table at like 2 a.m. and he's like, I'm good. She can go up to the hotel. I'm good. And I was like, no, motherfucker, come on.
Oh my God. He's 10?
He turns 11 next Tuesday.
Holy shit. How the time flies. God damn.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Damn, that's so sick though. Like I've been telling you, I know probably every single person, every one of our friends has definitely been telling you that kid is going to be nuts. Like he's going to be the amalgamation of every gamer that we've ever met. He is going to be so good at whatever he decides to focus on.
Yeah, like, people do say that, and I kind of worry when he hears that.
Think it's driving his ego?
Maybe.
I mean, dude, kids these days are crazy. Like that's one of the things too is like, I mean, we're at the point now where fuck man, reflexes are not nearly as good as they used to be. And I play against, if I play like Destiny or Overwatch or anything like that, any like faster pace, like especially Overwatch.
We were playing Rocket League an hour ago, sir.
Shit. Anytime we play against anybody younger, like they're just fucking destroying. They are like, I don't know what it is about kids these days, what they're putting in the water, but they're fucking killing us.
They're putting gamer subs in the water.
Dude, clearly there's something. Like these kids are doped up on caffeine and fucking high refresh rates.
Adderall straight in the water.
It's fucking Adderall. These kids are already there. Like you have all these bodybuilders that are like 20 and 21 that are like juiced out of their mind, like huge and ripped, and you have kids now that are like at their computers at 12, like popping addies and just fucking gaming and shaking and losing their mind. God.
The chicken dinner.
Hit that chicken dinner. God, remember when chicken dinner used to be the best thing?
I miss it.
I
would just text the boys, be like, hey, when I get off work tonight, we're going to get some chicken.
Oh my God. I did not, I was never, in terms of battle royales, I've never really been that big of a fan. I liked playing PUBG purely because we played with friends. That's most games, but like, dude, and like we went back I went back last year, and I don't remember who I played with, and it was just, it sucks now. It's nothing compared to what it used to be.
Same experience. I went back maybe a year or two ago, like for good old times, and I was just like, this is ass.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I don't know. And like the gameplay and like the mechanics have all been like kind of refined, but it just sucks now. And I don't know if it's something to do with the fact that people have just gotten way too good, or if I'm just way too shit and I expect it to be good.
I think up.
Well, that's how I feel in Rocket League, man. Like I was getting kind of pissed off when we were playing earlier. Not pissed off to the point of like being actually angry, but I'm just like, man, I used to be so fucking good at this game, man. All of these things. There was a goal that you're like, that I was really upset because I'm like, I could have easily saved that. And you're like, no, that was a pretty hard save. No, old me easily had that. I was like, dude, if this was 5 years ago, or not even, if this was however many years ago, back when I was still playing every fucking day, oh, that was such an easy save. I'm washed, dude. It's over. I'm about to hang it up.
You've come back a few times recently. You've been dipping your toes back in, man. What's up with that?
I don't know, man. I think because I quit Overwatch. I finally uninstalled, completely got rid of Overwatch.
Did you request a refund?
No, I should have. Fuck. I don't think they'd let me do it after 2,400 hours though.
I've requested a refund for Rocket League 3 times.
3 times? You're like, fuck this fucking game. How many hours are you at now? 5,000?
3,000.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
And I think all of those reports came after 1,000 hours.
So it was not even close.
No, not even close.
It
was just me being stupid. But I always joked, like, wouldn't it be funny if Steam was like, you know what? All right, fine, fuck you then, and took it out of my account. I'm like, no, give it back.
Just refunded you the money. I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever.
Here's your $20 from 2015.
Just completely wipes your account. It's like, all right, well, later, skater. Fuck me. Yeah, I don't know why, man. Like I think it's because I just don't have like a steady like not chill game to play. Because like Overwatch was always the game that I'd play. It wasn't relaxing. It wasn't fun. It was more just I was good at it. I've put that time into that game. I know it like the back of my hand. I know exactly what to expect in pretty much every game. That I can just pop it on and I'm good to go. I'm not gonna experience anything new. And that kind of became the same thing with Destiny, where Destiny would be like, if I know exactly what's going to happen, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. Rocket League was that same way for a long time, where I knew the disappointment that I was going to meet. I knew exactly like what I could do in that game and what was going to happen, what my limitations were. And I think that eventually I just got to the point where I just wasn't having fun. Like one thing that I've noticed for myself is that I'll get to a point where I don't get very good at a game, but I'll get pretty decently good at a game. And I get to the point where I just stop having fun, and it stops becoming about having fun, and it starts becoming about being good. It's why I have such a hard time playing comp whenever we play any game. Like even Rocket League, even though I know we're playing casually and like I don't give a fuck about my rank, it's still like there's something in the back of my brain that's like, I need to care. I need to win. I'm only going to have fun if I'm winning. And that little thing really, I wish there was some sort of switch that could flip off in my brain, because it's a constant thing that lingers.
I think I used to deal with that a bit more, specifically with Rocket League. It's one of the few games in my life where I, at one point, deeply cared. Dude, when I hit champion the first time, I was hard for a week. But my thing is, like, I just always play with my dude, Zach. And I've noticed specifically if we're, like, there's a perfectly razor-thin line you gotta walk between we're having fun, we're memeing, we're goofing, and we're communicating what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
But when we stop goofing and start going purely to the like, I'm on your left, I'm going for the pass, I got this, stuff like that, our play goes downhill. And then it's just a couple games until we're off at that point.
Yeah.
But like those first couple games of the night, we were just like, how are you today? Memeing, oh, somebody said something stupid at work. What'd your roommate do stupid today? and stuff like that. We're laughing, having a good old time, making like Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey movie quotes, and we do great. Like we win when we're meaning, and then we get too serious and we lose.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like when TJ and I were playing the other day, and I mean, we were just goofing around, like not even caring, and we just won. And I think you and I played with Zach and just having a good old time, not really caring, just
there's something
living
about
in
Zach.
the sunshine.
There's something about Zach, dude. He's magic. He relaxes you, and then uses you to help you win.
Absolutely. I think funnily enough, I think that TJ and I's Tarkov like cooperative play has then like transferred to Rocket League, where now like we're just kind of like we know what we're gonna do. So like when we play twos, we've been pretty successful. And I'm like, all right, we're rocking this.
That's another reason.
Obviously, TJ's picking up a lot of my slack, and that's kind of how I have to. That's why I prefer threes, anyways, because I like having my I want to be able to make a couple extra mistakes. But recently, TJ's having to pick up a lot of my slack because Zach's.
Dude, that's
I never.
The thing with me and Zach, dude, like you said about like you just kind of you learn each other. So like me and Zach can play together, and we barely need to communicate. I'm just like, I'll set this path up, and he's gonna be right there. There he is.
Mm-hmm.
You just
a
couple thousand hours playing the same game, smacking the same balls. You get to know a guy.
That's all you need. It's funny too, because that's how I feel like Taylor and I were kind of like that back when he played, and when he played regularly, because he was the one who I'd play with the most. I feel like, and yeah, I've kind of I lost that for a little while, and then kind of regained it now with TJ, where I have that kind of, we're on that same sort of wavelength. But it's weird having that, like, because I used to be really bad about, I couldn't talk while I was playing. So when I played and when I was playing serious, I couldn't say a word. It's like I couldn't call out if I was going for something. I couldn't, which is really bad because you need to communicate in a game like that.
Pretty bad for Rocket League.
But I for whatever reason, I was like, I could carry a game and dominate, but I can't say a fucking word. And the moment that you tell me something or say something to me that I need to respond, it just throws me off. But now I'm like, I'm talking the whole time. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't know. It's weird how
just
things
playing
change.
to have fun.
Yeah, that's true. We're
trying to win, but we're playing to have fun.
Yeah, and I think that's what Rocket League has become now for me, is that kind of like a break away from kind of every other game, a break away from it's something that's competitive because I really enjoy competitive games, and it's something that I can just fucking dick around on. I tried that game, the Ubisoft game X Defiant, and that's just kind of, it doesn't scratch that itch for me. It's kind of,
I've heard like nothing but good things.
I mean, here's the thing. It's got a solid groundwork. There's just not a lot to the game. Is it
another like 6v6 team deathmatch?
It's like COD and Overwatch had a baby, but it's not as good as, it's not as...
Didn't Valorant already do that? Oh, no, that's Counter-Strike.
No, that's Counter-Strike, yeah. So it's got the shooting mechanics of COD, and the movement of COD with the ability style thing of like
is there
Siege
a big
or
monkey?
Overwatch. It's an ability shooter, basically what it is. So
but there's no Winston.
No, there's no Winston.
Then I don't care. I only play games with big monkeys.
All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you. There's no big monkeys. It's you got a gun and then you're running around playing as Ubisoft's slew of characters, whatever those may be.
So wait, they have special. What is Sam Fisher shooting fireballs?
Yeah. So they're not. It's people from like the Splinter Cell. It's like I don't know if they're part of the actual game or if they're just made up and put into the game.
It's like Sam Fisher's twin brother Ham.
Yeah, basically. And so they can like go invisible and like do so. I don't know how the fuck it works. They can. I want to say they can.
Green lights on his head.
Yes, all of them do.
Oh,
all of the Splinter Cell, and they're from the franchise, and they have the abilities of like one, like he can go invisible, but he can also like scout out and see what's ahead of him, and like none of them really matter. Like the abilities don't make a huge difference, and there's really only two abilities that get used, which is the invisible scouting person and the person who has the heal, which is the one that I use. Like those are the two that are like they dominate. That's what most people are picking. But there's not, and maybe because I'm still playing in like the beginner lobbies, it's not super competitive. It's also not really that fun for that long.
Little did Silas know it's all bots for the first 10 levels.
It'd be fucking. It kind of feels like it because some of those games I've played, I'm like, this is just not.
So many games are doing that nowadays.
Well, yeah, they got to fill their numbers, and like especially at the lower MMRs, if you're, like I know what Battlefield did it. Battlefield 2042 was really bad about doing it.
Oh yeah.
When their numbers drop, when their player numbers drop, that's I mean, I feel like every time I've gone back, it's always bots, and I'm like, man, I'm fucking going crazy. And then you look at the names of the guys that you're killing. It's like, oh, these are all bots. None of these are. It makes you feel kind of good, but like then a real player shows up and fucks your whole day up. So
repeatedly,
yeah. It's always that one guy in whatever game it is. There's always that one guy who's just like, I'm not making this a personal competition. You're just in my way. Whereas you're making it a personal competition. Somehow.
I'll hunt you down.
Yeah. Every single time. And you always run into him no matter where you are. You be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm spawning on the other side of the map. No, he's there too. Somehow.
Yeah, but what you need to know and what everybody needs to know is when you're experiencing that, it's my 11-year-old son in the other room.
It's an 11-year-old son. It's his 11-year-old son just fucking popping Addies like M&Ms.
He is wearing... No, not popping. Calm down. No. He is wearing Crocs with the tall socks. Apparently that's a style now.
Hell yeah.
And
God
fuck. Knows what else. And he's just whipping your ass at Fortnite or Battlefield. Whatever you're playing, it's that 11-year-old.
That's what it is. It's these kids these days, man. There's something in the water. There's something happening. I think they should have. It's because they took all the lead out of paint. That's what it is. We're a lot more clear-headed now. The older generations are clear-headed.
They had all the lead, and it kept them, down and angry and stuff. But now they've removed it, so now we're like too much power.
Yeah, we're becoming clairvoyant. The third eye is opening. Now we know. So our generation's like the residual. We just we had like the fumes. We had the fumes
exactly
blowing in the wind.
We got the fumes.
And then now the like Gen Alpha, they're fucking killing it.
They're
man.
clean, free as a bird,
dude. They don't give a fuck. They're out here lead free.
What are we gonna do with that kid?
I don't know. It's scary to think about. I don't want to get existential right now, but it's scary to think about the future that the younger generations have. Like I feel like, and I could be wrong, I feel like I've been born at like the perfect time where like things are bad, you know what I mean? But like I'm not gonna live long enough to, or at least I hope I'm not gonna live long enough to like see the real downfall of the world. You know what I mean? I'll be like right there at the end, getting the tail end of this. You know what I mean?
I think if you think about it, basically every generation that comes since the beginning of America has its own ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's shit that like our parents had to deal with that we never had to deal with.
Yeah, true.
But the world definitely just, yeah. So then there's like different issues. They had to deal with lead paint and the outrage that was installing seatbelts. And now we have to deal with YouTube rotting our children's brains with just 8 seconds of screaming cuts.
Yeah. Well, there's I mean, yeah, there's a lot more. The funny thing is like now our generation and the younger generations are now like the most informed generations compared to, because people used to just have to fucking turn the TV on and get their news from the news. They had to watch the news or get a newspaper. Holy shit. When's the last time you saw a fucking newspaper that had real news in it, with the exception of like not an online article. I'm talking about a physical fucking newspaper.
I'm thinking about like the 7-Eleven by my house always has the rack there, just filled to the brim. Never seen anyone buy one.
Exactly. And because people, I mean, you have a fucking small computer on your, in the palm of your hands that gives you access to essentially anything that you want to know, any sort of information that you want to know is at the palm of your hands. I hold the power of the sun in the palm of my hands. Like that's fucking crazy. And there's all these like obviously you have a bunch of people who aren't going to take advantage of that, or just gonna be like, I want my dopamine and I'm going to watch my silly little TikToks and fucking whatever. But like you can easily be like, what's going on in wherever, what's happening in Canada today, what's the weather like, what's going on in Jordan. That's not a country I think about very often, Think
about like the shift over the years, how, many years ago you might be talking to somebody and be like, oh, what was the actress's name? Like, we just can't remember. Guess we got to go about our lives.
All right, well, whatever. We'll think about it later. And now it's like, what was she in? Let me look her up.
Right. Oh, dude, she was also in this episode of this show in 1974.
Dude, let's put on Hulu. We can watch it right now. Dude, we can watch it right fucking now.
You want me to cast it?
You want me to cast it, bro? Like, check this shit out. Yeah, and that's that it's a blessing and a curse because you get all of this information, all of this fantastic information, but you also get all of this horrible information where now we're learning about like, injustices around the world and in our own country and spaces and like all of the awful shit happening. So I don't know, man. It's again, I feel like I'm in a great, we landed in a pretty solid time in history where we have access to
we do
all
have good
this
memes.
We have fucking great memes, dude. Our memes are fucking killer. Not only that, but we have fucking great music. Like we have so much like we have fucking video games, dude. We can broadcast our thoughts through the power of the internet via a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, so
that's
crazy. Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would want to do that, but
yeah.
That. Dude, I'm so glad that you said music.
Yeah.
Because I brought a question for you today.
Oh God, here we go. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I know that you, if I remember correctly, you're more into hip hop, right? Rap music.
Yeah. It definitely changes.
But you're open. I know you're open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm trying to gauge. Dude, music is so deeply important to me. Like I do not think I would be here today without some of my favorite bands and lyrics and things helping me through situations. So, my question for you, if you have it, did you ever have your first music album that you felt was really important to you?
Ooh, fuck, that's a fucking really good question.
I can give you my answer if you need a moment.
Yeah, go ahead and give me your answer. And I think I have the album, but I want to hear your answer first.
It was either the 6th or the 7th grade, I got Papa Roach's Getting Away with Murder.
Oh my...
I know. And even better than that, my grandma bought it for me at Walmart, so it was censored.
Fuck yeah. Wait, is this the album that has...
And the scars remind us. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Wow.
What
year was this?
Oh, Jesus. 2000 something. But the reason it was so important to me is not even just because I love the album and the music and replayed it 1,000 times, but prior to that, my whole life, I had kind of been on that silly mindset of like, if they're screaming, it's not real music. Why would anybody like that? If you can believe that about me. With the Papa Roach album, on like several of the songs, he would just do like just a wah, and like scream a little bit. And at some point I was like, maybe I would like that in other music. So then I went on to Napster, because this is early 2000s.
Fuck yeah.
And I downloaded some Slipknot. It was all downhill from there into the dead-souled metalhead that you see before you.
Wow. That's fucking cool as fuck. It's really funny that you said that, if they're screaming, it's not music, because I used to be of the rap is crap mentality.
What?
Yes. So I was brought up on classic rock. I will say there's two albums. For me, there's two albums that made a huge difference in my life, in terms of like it kind of guided me through life, I guess, or like they hold a very special place in my heart. The first one is Highway to Hell by AC/DC.
Really?
Fucking again. So you have to understand, my dad is 70s, 80s like classic rock. Like that
sounds like a classic dad.
Dude, classic dad. And that's all that I listened to for years and years and years and years. I had this like AC/DC hat that I'd wear all over the place. I had AC/DC shirts. I still listen to AC/DC.
Yeah.
I love AC/DC. But that was my thing is, recently I've been listening to like a lot of the Eagles and just like older, classic rock bands and kind of reminiscing about that music. And I'm like, oh fuck, I forget. I know all the words to these songs because all I listened to for the first 16, 17 years of my life. And then somewhere in high school, like I had listened to like a little bit of Ludacris when I was young. Obviously like Paul Wall, I'd been exposed to him at a very young age. And being from Texas, you listen to Southern rappers. And around that time, I'd say 16, 17 was when I really started listening to hip hop. Getting out of high school, like 16, 17, 18 kind of. And the other album is by a group called the Underachievers. It's called The Art of Duality. And that was when that was when they're a duo. That was when I switched from like just caring about all right. That was the album that went from being like just about caring about, you know, if it sounds good, to caring about the message, and like having art that really speaks to me, and like music that when I listen to it, it goes beyond just making me feel some sort of way. It like makes me feel like I don't want to say empowered. Response. Yeah, there's something there.
Music can definitely make you feel empowered.
Absolutely. And that's, well, empower, I was going to say, it's not that it didn't make me feel empowered. It was more that it didn't, I wasn't listening to feel empowered. It was more that I was listening to it because, so to give a little bit of context, the Underachievers are a group out of Flatbush, New York. And which is kind of just like a smaller city within the greater New York City.
My understanding of New York is that there's New York City and then country rednecks all around it.
Basically, yeah, essentially. But so they're in New York City, but they're based out of Flatbush, and I heard one song. A buddy of mine showed me one of their songs. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like I'd already been pretty deep. Like at this point, I was pretty into hip hop, but that was like, oh man, this is. I don't know what this is, but this is really like it's one of those things where I really wish I could go back and listen to it for the first time again, because it was so good. It was something that really like I can't explain it. It's pure ecstasy. It is something that is ethereal. The feeling is like,
and you don't remember just the feeling of the music. It was everything. The music and the words just hit you.
And I can remember like just driving down the road, and because when I worked at Enterprise, I was doing a ton of driving, so I always had music going. And when I started listening to them, I started listening to them, and that was all I listened to for like a year. And it's cool because I've followed their careers now for like 10 years. And
you've had me check them out not that long ago, or a few years ago.
It's at some point in time, and it was one of those things where the thing that sucks is they're at a point now where they're not really releasing music. They're like, so you have AK and Issa Gold. AK is releasing his own solo music. Issa's not doing anything. Issa had like a podcast for like 2 episodes that was really interesting, kind of getting the inside of his mind, just listening to him talk. And then AK has just kind of like been traveling and doing music, and he hasn't really produced anything, because the thing that sucks is like, I feel like they've kind of run out of things to say, whereas used to it was like they always had something to say. They always had like a message. In their last album, they kind of went back to their roots, and I don't think people kind of vibe with it as much, but I loved it. But it was interesting to see them it's been interesting to see them like on their mixtapes stray away from like the initial like kind of they had a very like hippie-ish vibe, and like talking about like truth and peace and love and doing drugs, and that was like kind of the thing, was like finding yourself, looking within yourself, and not adjusting to whatever mold you've been placed in. Break out of that, look around you, like do research, figure shit out for yourself, find yourself, and be who you actually are meant to be. That was like, they've moved away from that vision, and it's now just like kind of the standard like hip hop with their style, which is cool, and I still like it, but it's like, man, I miss
like more materialistic kind of
lyrics
now.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's the thing, is like I feel like when you run out of stuff to say, you rap about what's around you, and if what's around you is materialistic goods, then fuck it, that's just kind of how it goes. Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned this about the lyrics and how that attracted you to the music, because I've noticed many of those around you will tell you that I'm kind of like one facet of me, one-dimensional. Thank you. And I only listen to metal and nothing else, but I do like other things. I'm just much more picky. I really don't enjoy any songs that have those materialistic kind of like, I'm sorry, you got a lot of money and a cool car. All right, man. Yeah. That's fine. Your song's catchy, and it takes balls to record it and put it out. So props to you there. I'll give anybody who makes music respect, but it's not for me. I'm not going to be bumping that in my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like Lupe Fiasco is one that I'm huge on. His lyrics are Aesop Rock also. And then even like other genres as well. There's a country song or two that has like a good message. And I'm like, I can get down with that. Maybe not jamming it every day, but
yeah.
It's always, and I feel like that's a really big overarching theme in a lot of metal music, or at least the metal music that I'm drawn to, is, like you said, empowering, overcoming whatever obstacle is ahead of me. I'm just going to scream and get through it. Love it. Music. It's
I'm now. I used to be very one-dimensional when it came to music because I would, again, classic rock. That's all I listened to, and then I've slowly but surely moved from, and a lot of it. There is a lot of music that I like that the lyrics and what they're saying is very impactful, and I want that. But then there's times like where I just want to I want to jam, I want to vibe. You know what I mean? There's a song by this guy named Bikane. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. He's a French artist. Don't know what the fuck he's saying. And there's multiple songs that he's done. One of them's called Valhalla. So fucking fantastic. Very powerful. His voice is
French.
It's in French. The whole thing. It's a French like R&B artist. And the whole thing that he's done, it's been, I mean, his voice is it's indescribable. Like it's beautiful, but also powerful, and like it's just something about it. And he's got like a very unique look to him. Like he's missing a tooth and just wears like very, very cool fucking clothes. And like, I don't know, he's just got a fucking style to him. But I don't know what the fuck he's saying. Obviously, I don't know what he's talking about, but it sounds like it just makes you feel some kind of way. And that's one of the things too that I've been really enjoying is branching out into not only other genres, but other like music in other countries, like listening to, like different genres of music from like Japanese hip hop is something that I would have never thought would be anything I'd be into. But there's a lot of really interesting and cool Japanese hip hop artists. Japanese metal is really cool too. Like
for sure.
There's
metal.
Yeah, fuck yeah. There's a lot of really cool like around the world. There's a lot of really cool music that once you kind of step out of that like comfort zone and start exploring more, it becomes a really interesting journey, like depending on the genre that you're looking into. Cause it's, fuck. I mean, I never would have thought that I'd be like going from listening like jazz to then listening to salsa to then like, hip hop. Dude, I love salsa music, like hip hop and jazz and like salsa and like 90s country and just kind of like jumping all around and whatever the mood is, man, I'm here for it,
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. That's a bop. I'll take it to my grave.
Fuck yeah. We could I feel like we could have a whole podcast episode about Taylor Swift and just the insanity that is Taylor Swift, but I also don't want to get canceled super early because I know that anytime that you talk about Taylor Swift and have any sort of negative like inclination towards her, it becomes, I don't know if you've ever seen the after effects of like there's a YouTube channel named Papa Meat or Meat Cannon if you know him, or Meat Canyon.
I've heard Meat Cannon. Canyon, yeah.
Cannon. Meat Canyon. It is Meat Canyon. That he made because he does art, he does like animations, and he made an animation about Taylor Swift, and he got fucking roasted. Like people were coming at him from all walks of life to be like, fuck this guy, you keep Taylor Swift's name out of your fucking mouth, dude. I could go into, this is why I'm kind of excited for the future. I definitely, obviously, I think for this month, like in the next episode, I kind of want to delve a little bit more into men's mental health. We talked a little bit about my journey. I would love to hear more about your journey and open up a little bit more and kind of figure things out and just kind of pick your brain a little bit about it. But I definitely want to talk about that and also a little bit more about Pride. I think we kind of just said Happy Pride Month, but I do want to kind of touch on that while we're still in the month of June. Obviously, this is not the last episode. This is just the first. This is where we start. You know what I mean? This is where
just the beginning.
Begins. Yeah.
But this is not the end. Tell us your pride.
Oh, you really want me to?
Give me your pride.
Give me all of it. You want me to give the whole
just
story?
Gonna wiggle your finger now.
So when I was so here you go. So by the way, if you didn't know, pink, yellow, blue. These are the pansexual colors. I am pansexual. I identify as pansexual, which is the funniest thing to me because every time I'm just like, yeah, I love cookware. I love pots and pans. My favorite. It's so dumb.
What is, for the audience, what does that mean?
So pansexuality means that you are in a sexual sense attracted to any gender. You're attracted to anybody regardless of gender. So I am if you want to have the full title, I am pansexual demi-romantic. And what that means is that I know. And let me tell you, on the next episode, we'll talk more about what that means and how I kind of like got to that point. And kind of understanding that a little bit more.
Like a sexual history.
A little history, but a little history, a little rundown. But what it comes down to is basically I am attracted to everyone, and I can only be romantically involved with people that I fall in love with. Basically, like I have to have I fall in love with personality more than anything else. Like I have to basically make a deep connection with you before I can even really fall in love with you and feel romantic feelings towards you, which is again a very odd thing to discover about yourself. But I did somehow. I don't know. I've kind of mapped that out in my brain.
It feels like something that you would kind of maybe not know, you would feel in your mind, your heart, but you don't know what it is until the label comes along and helps you to understand it. Like you said, putting a name on the monster.
Exactly. Absolutely. It was one of those things where, you know, because I was just like you, where I'm like, what the fuck is demi-romantic? What is pansexual? Like, you don't know.
I was asking for the audience, so could you not put me down like that?
Okay, you're right. My bad. Shit. My heteronormative cisgendered companion. I forget.
Thank you. I think those are all nice things to say.
I think those are, they're things to say. Fuck. Anyways, we will go into this more. I think that this is really a really good spot to end. Are any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Go like the Facebook page. I put 5 minutes of work into it.
Fuck yeah. We all of the that's fucking great. All of the socials will be posted in their various places. We do have a number of social medias for you to follow. But fuck man, I want to go and talk for another hour, but you know, we don't get to spend any more time together, but I think that was time well spent. Goodbye everyone.
Later.
There you go.
You fucked it up.
Did I? Yeah, well, whatever.
You said it was time well spent at the end.
Time well, fuck! I was so confident too.
I mean, I'm still recording, so you just leave this in.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was time well.
Done. Bye guys.
Bye guys.